The motor. The motor was first invented in 1834 by Thomas Davenport. 98 years later, the company Lego came to be. And in 1966, Lego Set 100 was the first Lego set to have a motor. Throughout the years, Lego has been continuing to evolve the motor, in good ways and in bad ways. And during all of it, during all the motors Lego has released and all the sets to have motors in them, one set was the only set to have the name Star Wars on the box, while also having a motor in the set. Well, kinda. Here, once again, we have Productions Head AZ Lego to explain to you why Lego hasn't included a motor in at least 3 Lego Star Wars sets in the last 24 years. That Lego has held the rights to make Lego Star Wars sets, but they haven't. Alright, ta-ta now. Here we go, LegoHead. Alright, ta-ta. Alright, but really. Alright, ta-ta. Thank you. Alright, bye.
Man, I know it's been a year since the last time we did this, but I didn't think you would forget my name that bad. Anyway, have you noticed how LEGO doesn't like to make more than 2 LEGO Star Wars sets with motors in them? Why is that? Well, I think it's because LEGO's stupid, alright? You're gonna put a motor in a $200 lighthouse, it's actually a really cool set, but you're not gonna include a motor in a Jabba's palace that you have to buy a second set just to get the whole experience for? Really? You're gonna include the option to put a motor inside a giant haunted house set, it's actually a really cool set, but you're not gonna include that same option in an MBS cantina? Okay, I don't know what that was, but anyway, I think it's because, think about it. How would LEGO realistically fit a motor into a UCS Defense on Hoth? Yeah, that's what I thought. Though even though that might be the case, I still think there's a point to be made about having lights in LEGO Star Wars sets. I mean, could you imagine a UCS Falcon with lights? That would look pretty cool. Though, I mean, I guess the LEGO Star Wars fanbase isn't really a type of fanbase that would want electronics in their Star Wars sets. So that's probably why LEGO doesn't do it? Either that or they just can't fit a Bluetooth battery box inside a snowspeeder, I don't know. Though even with all of that, some sets I'd like to see with motors in them include... So what can you do about this? No, that's a question I'm asking you. I guess all we can do now is just write an angry comment on LEGO Life. Don't worry, I already wrote 10. Now to prove to LEGO that there are people out there who want another motorized LEGO Star Wars set, here's some evidence, videos of real people, not actors, giving testimonials of how they want another motor in their life.
When I was 5, I said perfectly made motorized instructions to a Lego TIE Fighter. I sent them to Lego, but they said, sorry, we don't make motorized Lego sets. So you know what I said? I said, what about the Lego Star Wars 1017 motorized walking AT-AT from 2007? What about the Lego Star Wars Boost 75253 Tread Commander set from 2019? Huh? What about those? So of course, I blew up the LEGO headquarters, destroyed the country of Denmark, and now I am the president of the world. I'm just waiting on the transition here. As you can tell, I'm a very insane man.
Hey, you want to know what I've always wanted to see from LEGO? A motorized UCS land speeder. It would be like an F1 car, as seen in Nigel Mansell's World Championship Racing for the SNES. But sand-colored. It would levitate.
My first set was the LEGO Star Wars 1017 Nate motorized walking AT-AT, and ever since then I wanted to build my own. Powered Palpatine's throne room. Don't ask me why.
I've always wanted a motorized version of set number 75059, the UCS Sandcrawler. I mean, what do you think my first words were?
Goo goo gaga. I want set number 75059, but motorized.
Well, I guess LEGO Star Wars and motors just weren't meant to exist in the same universe. Oh wait,